Ever notice how you can scroll on your phone for hours, but 5 minutes of studying feels exhausting? You tell yourself you'll start in a minute. Then suddenly it's nighttime, and you've done nothing important. Most people think this means they're lazy, but psychology says something completely different. Your brain is actually designed to avoid difficult things, and once you understand why, beating procrastination becomes much easier. The human brain was built for survival, not productivity. Thousands of years ago, conserving energy helped humans stay alive, so your brain developed shortcuts to avoid unnecessary effort. The problem is, your brain treats many modern tasks like they're threats. Studying, working out, starting a business, even replying to emails. If something feels mentally demanding or uncomfortable, your brain naturally wants to escape it. And in today's world, escaping is easier than ever. Social media, short videos, notifications, and endless entertainment give your brain quick rewards with almost zero effort. Meanwhile, meaningful goals usually require discomfort first and reward later. That's where the struggle begins. Deep down, your brain keeps asking one question: is this worth the energy? If the reward is immediate, your brain says yes. That's why checking your phone feels effortless. You open one app, see something entertaining, and instantly get rewarded. But difficult tasks work differently. The reward for studying might come weeks later. The reward for exercise might take months. Your brain sees delayed rewards as less valuable. Psychologists call this delay discounting. Basically, humans naturally prioritize immediate rewards over future rewards. That's why people choose temporary comfort over long-term improvement. Not because they're weak, but because their brain is wired that way. A lot of people call dopamine the happiness chemical. But dopamine is actually more connected to motivation and anticipation. Your brain releases dopamine when it expects something rewarding might happen. And social media platforms understand this perfectly. Every swipe, scroll, or refresh could reveal something funny, emotional, shocking, or entertaining. That unpredictability keeps your brain engaged. It's the same psychological trick casinos use in slot machines. Your brain becomes addicted to the possibility of reward. That's why you can keep scrolling even when you're not enjoying it anymore. Your brain keeps thinking, maybe the next video will be better. Meanwhile, tasks like reading, studying, or working don't provide instant stimulation. Compared to social media, they feel slow, so your brain resists them. Here's something interesting. Starting is usually the hardest part, not continuing. Starting. Psychologists sometimes call this activation energy. Before beginning a difficult task, your brain focuses on the discomfort. How long it will take, how tiring it might feel, how difficult it seems. But once you actually begin, the resistance often decreases. That's why people say things like, I didn't want to work out, but once I started it was fine, or I didn't want to study, but after 10 minutes, I got focused. The hardest part wasn't the task itself, it was overcoming the mental friction before starting. Your brain tries to protect you from discomfort, even when the discomfort is temporary. One of the simplest psychological tricks is called the 5-minute rule. Instead of telling yourself, I need to finish everything, you tell yourself, I'll do it for just 5 minutes. That small change matters, because your brain stops seeing the task as a huge threat. Anyone can do something for 5 minutes, and once momentum begins, continuing becomes easier. This is important because motivation often comes after action, not before it. Most people wait to feel motivated, but action creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation, not the other way around. Then your environment starts shaping your behavior. Psychologists call this cue-based behavior. Your brain constantly responds to triggers around you. If your phone is beside you while studying, your brain keeps expecting stimulation. 1 notification becomes 2. 2 become 20 minutes. But small environmental changes can dramatically improve focus. Putting your phone in another room, closing unnecessary tabs, keeping your workspace clean. These tiny decisions reduce distractions before your brain has to fight them. And that matters because willpower is limited. The people who seem disciplined usually aren't fighting temptation every second. They simply make distractions harder to access. Another reason procrastination feels powerful is because your brain hates uncertainty. If a task feels vague, overwhelming, or unclear, your brain avoids it. That's why saying, "I need to get my life together," feels mentally exhausting. It's too big, too unclear, too intimidating. But when you shrink the task, resistance drops. Instead of, "I need to study biology," you say, "I'll review 1 page." Instead of, "I need to get fit," you say, "I'll do 10 push-ups." Small goals feel achievable. Achievable goals create action, and repeated actions slowly change how you see yourself. Over time, your brain starts seeing you differently, not as someone who tries to be productive, but as someone who takes action consistently. And identity is powerful, because people naturally act in ways that match who they believe they are. Here's the part most people miss. Your brain isn't broken. It's adapting to an environment filled with instant rewards. Every app, notification, and algorithm is competing for your attention, and your brain naturally takes the easiest reward available. That's normal. But once you understand the psychology behind it, you stop blaming yourself and start building systems that work with your brain instead of against it. The goal isn't to become perfectly motivated all the time. Nobody is. The goal is to make starting easier, reduce distractions, and build momentum before your brain talks you out of it. Because productivity usually isn't about working harder, it's about making difficult actions easier to begin. And once you understand that, you stop waiting for motivation and start creating it. Your future isn't built by motivation. It's built by the moments you start before you feel ready.